Right, good evening everyone. This is Robert Jamieson in Melbourne on a lovely freezing Melbourne night. Looking forward to our chess lesson this evening. I have with me down in sunny Hobart, Yuvini Perera. Hello Yuvini, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
That's good. Now I've got some information about you up there. Let me see, you go to Mount Stewart Primary School, is that right?
Yes,
Yes, and how old are you?
I'm 10.
10, okay, and your rating's 931, so you're getting close to Junior Master. Another 170 points, you'll be up to Junior Master level. All right. Now, today I've got a position that you guys have been looking at. Have you had a good look at that position, Yuvini? What did you think was the main factor for white?
Uh,
You were looking at knight f5 or something, were you? Or the whole on f5?
yeah. Yeah, I was looking at the hole on f5 because it's not really defended by a pawn, like for
Okay.
black, so that
All
could be
right.
pretty important.
What did you think was the main factor for black?
Uh,
What?
well, the bishop on h2 isn't doing much, so yeah, that could be
Keep that trapped in.
good for black.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this was a slightly different position to what we normally have. It's not like solving a tactic or anything like that. But the idea I wanted to get across to you guys today was that when you're playing your game of chess, you need not only to analyse the moves that are there in front of you at that time, but you also need to have a look at the big picture, because that directs sort of probably what you're going to play anyway. So here, this is a game between Carlson and another grandmaster fairly recently. Now, from White's point of view, the relevant factor, you've put your finger on it, is that bishop on h2. That bishop's locked in and not really playing a part in the game. So if we decided that was our problem, Yuvini, and we were white, what ideas would you have for white? What moves would you look at, do you think?
Uh, maybe try and move the f3 knight, so then later on I can move my bishop to g1 and move the f pawn up.
Yep, exactly right. So one option would be to play knight e1. Black might play c4. You could then play f3. And it might go along a bit like this, but white can now get his bishop out via g1, but he's still under a bit of pressure, but at least his bishop's going to get into the game. All right, so that's good. So if white understands the big picture, that'll help him choose perhaps the right plan. Now, he understood the picture, but he came up with a different idea. He decided to play bishop takes e5. So he wants to sacrifice his bishop for 2 pawns, try and swap off a lot of pawns and maybe get a draw, because Carlson was black. Now, I think only one of you has come up with the correct idea for black. Do you want to have another go, Yuvini, given what's happened? What's the key feature for black? What's black's advantage? What's he trying to do? What's he got going for him?
I'd try and take the b pawn and move the c pawn and b pawn up the board.
Yeah, black's advantage is that pawn on b3. That's not far away from queening, and he's got that b2 pawn of white under pressure. So if he could get that pawn going through, that's going to be a big plus for him. So Carlson understood that, and in fact he didn't take the bishop back. He played pawn to g4 to lure the knight away, and then instead of taking the bishop now, he jumped into c4, hitting the rook and that crucial b pawn. So now he captured the b pawn, so even though he's a piece down, he's got the killer b pawn going for him. Now he's threatening rook a1 with checkmate on e1 coming up. So white tried to get out of it, but black can just sacrifice like so, and it's all over. So that was how the game panned out. White knew his problem. He tried to sacrifice his bishop to utilise it in some way, because it was just sitting there doing nothing on h2, and black realised his advantage was that b pawn, so he didn't worry about taking back the bishop. He concentrated on trying to get that pawn through. All right, so that was just an interesting little example of how understanding what's happening in the game can help you decide on your moves. Right, now let me try and load today's game. Now, I've had a look at your games, Yuvini, and I've picked out two. The first one's against Bobby Zhang, who I think's here today. Played down at the chess camp, wasn't it? You played little Bobby down there?
Yes.
Yep. All right, and you were white. So what I want to stress in this game is it's very easy for chess players to just sort of coast along and make the obvious move and not think too much, and they take you, you take them back, all that sort of stuff. But that's not going to make you into a good chess player, or if you're in strife, it's not going to get you out of your problems. What you need to be is like an innovative thinker, and you've got to come up with ideas that your opponent hasn't seen so that you can trap him or play a combination he hasn't seen, or if you're in trouble, you can find a clever way out of it, that sort of thing. So we've got to sort of look at lots of different and candidate moves, even if they might look silly on the face of it. Maybe analyse lines a little bit deeper. So this game's got a couple of examples like that. So I thought we'll just plod along and see how that would impact on your game had you and your opponent seen what was possible. So it starts off with a normal boring sort of opening. So you play bishop b5, which I prefer to c4. That's good. Bobby goes out to c5, and you chop his knight. He chops back. Now that e-pawn's unprotected. So what do you guys think? Should Yuvini take that e-pawn or not? So in the questions, put take or don't take, and we'll see what you guys think. Would it be good for white to take that centre pawn? Joe's gone take. Actually, I should have mentioned before, I think Joe was the only one who picked that black's b-pawn was his big advantage. So well done, Joe. Evan says don't take. Callum's taking. Rebecca's don't. Thomas and Zoe are taking. Well, it's a bit all over the shop. Now, you decided to take. You still happy with that? Or are you unhappy with it? Tell me different now. What do you think?
Well, I'm happy, but his next move kind of surprised me because no one played it against me before, so I didn't know quite what to do. So.
All right. So hang on. So You've decided to take the pawn. So you're telling me you haven't looked at what he's going to reply?
No, not really.
Not really. All right. So that's the first flaw. So if you're going to be a tournament player, you've got to get into the ritual of before you make your move saying what is he going to reply. And particularly in a position like this where you think he's blundered, oh my God, he's given me a free pawn. It could be a trap or a trick or something you've missed. So you've got to be extra careful. And before you take it, have a look around for what he's going to reply. So you ended up zapping the pawn. Okay. So now the question is, what should black do? There's a couple of options. So you guys type in the question, what move you would play for black here. Most of you seem to be agreeing on the move. Some of you have come up with a different move. Right. Some want to play Queen E7. Someone's got Knight D7, castle. And most people have gone Queen D4. So is that the move you're scared of, Yuvini? Queen D4?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think black has any other moves he might look at? Is there anything else worth having a look at, or Queen D4 is just the obvious good one?
No, I might look at, maybe castling a rook E8 or getting my bishop out. But...
All right. Okay, well, Haran, well done, Haran, is the only one, or apart from Lachlan and Ryan who've come in a bit late. Remember how I say look at all checks and captures? Well, what if he played bishop takes F2 check? You'd have to take, then he goes to D4, and he's getting his knight back. How would you feel about
that? Pretty bad.
Yeah, because you can sort of chase him back a bit, but your king's still in a bit of a mess. I think it's probably a little bit better for black. So most of you guys didn't even see bishop takes pawn check, which would probably be all right. So most of you went for the move that Bobby played, Queen D4. Okay, so what's your thoughts here, Yuvini? You thought, oh my God, I haven't seen that. He's threatening mate, he's threatening my knight. What do I do? What did you think?
Well, I didn't know what to do because I was pretty surprised. I was looking at castling.
The
Yeah,
castling, he takes your knight, doesn't he? So he's a knight for a pawn up.
yeah,
All right. Is
yes.
there any way you can save that knight and not get checkmated?
Knight d3.
Knight d3. That looks all right to me. What? So you didn't see that in the game, or you rejected it, or what?
No, I didn't see it.
Didn't see it. Okay, because now he might have to go back. You play f3, and it's not too bad for you. You can play queen e2 and eventually castle queenside, and you've got a nice extra pawn. So, all right. The question is, I guess, how can you not see it? You saw the mate, you saw that the knight being attacked. So this is one of those positions where you think, gee, I'm in strife. So I've got to think really hard, try and find a way out. So you decided to play castle, but that loses a knight. So you need to sort of put extra effort into those critical positions and look at other moves. So like knight d3 was obviously a bit of a better way to go. Anyway, you went for the castles. He took the knight. Okay, now piece for pawn down. Your go. I think you've got two reasonable moves. You could play d3, which is the normal developing move. So black might be playing either knight g4 or bishop g4. So maybe you want to play h3. They're the two things we could perhaps have a look at. I might have a little poll. So you guys, I want you to choose. Do you want to play d3 for white or h3 for white? I'll just give you a few seconds to have a look at it. Okay, d3 or h3. So start voting on which one you do. So d3 is at the lead at the moment. Only half have voted. d3 is still in the lead. 81% have voted. Come on, some of you slackers haven't voted. 84%. I'll give another 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's close the poll and have a look. So most people want to play d3, and not many want to play h3. All right. Which one did you decide on, Yuvini?
I did h3.
All right. Why do you like h3?
Because I don't really like him moving his bishop to g4 because that gives me a bit of trouble. Like, I either have to move my queen to e1 or my knight back.
Okay.
And I guess I could always play d3 a little bit later on.
So you're worried about bishop g4, not knight g4?
Not really knight g4.
Okay. All right. Let's talk to someone. Try Rebecca, maybe. You there, Rebecca?
Yes.
Did you go for d3 or h3?
I went for d3.
Okay. Well, Yuvini likes h3. So why don't you like h3? Why do you prefer d3?
Because you never know, they might not even play bishop g4 in the first place, or even knight g4.
So it's like a waste of time stopping it.
Yeah, as you go d3, you can now move your bishop out.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Rebecca. All right. So let's go on. You played h3. All right, guys. Now another question for you to answer on the question box. What would you play for black here? You're a piece for a pawn up, but you haven't castled yet. What would you play for black? Bobby's going with castles. Max is going king h1. We want to move for black, Max. Okay, quite a lot of you have come up with an interesting idea. What about bishop h3, Yuvini? Did you expect that?
No.
No, that's a capture, and it's near your king. So if you're going by my rules, before you played h3, you should have had a quick look around to see what's happening and look at all checks and captures. So Would this be a good move, do you think, for black, or would it lose a bishop? Why is he
No,
sacrificing his bishop?
to play queen g5 check.
No, no, queen g3 check. See, the pawn's pinned.
Yeah.
You'd have to go in the corner, and then he comes in with the knight, and he's looking pretty good there. Got queen h2 mate coming up and everything, unless white sacrifices the queen. All right, so that was a missed opportunity for Bobby. He could have played bishop takes h3. But that's another example where you just sort of decide what you're going to do, but you perhaps didn't look at the replies and didn't look at the spectacular or unexpected replies. Okay, let's plot on. So Bobby went for castles. Now, knight e2. Can you tell me about knight e2? Why does your knight want to go to e2?
Well, I saw that I could fork his bishop and queen if I played d4.
All right.
But I couldn't play d4 right away because he would just take with the bishop.
What do you expect him to reply once you've played knight e2?
Bishop b6 or
okay.
queen.
Can't he just take your e-pawn with his queen? Then there's no fork anymore and you just lost another pawn? You could just play queen takes e4, I think. Yep, see, so it's another example where you've looked at what you're doing, but you haven't looked at what he's going to do in reply, perhaps. Fortunately for you, he didn't do it. He took it with the knight, so you then ripped in, forked them. He took. All right, now question for everyone again. Or actually, I think I've got a poll for this one. I want you to think, should Yuvini take with the queen or with the knight? So she can either, she's got to capture a piece back, she'll still be a pawn down, so should she take with the queen or the knight? So start your votes. At the moment the queen's hit the lead. Under half have voted, half have now voted. Queen's still in the lead. 71% have voted, so some slackers haven't voted. Come on. I'll give you 5 more seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's close the poll. Right, 3/4 want to take with the queen. Now, which one did you want to take with, Yuvini? Do you remember what you did?
I did the queen as well.
You did?
I think I played knight takes.
You took with the knight. All right, so you've changed your mind now, have you? If you had to get in, you take with the queen.
Yeah.
All right, why is taking with the knight a problem?
Yeah.
Why is taking with the knight a problem?
He could play rook d8.
Yeah. So taking with the queens, you perhaps have a queen swap off and you're only a pawn down and it's a double pawn and it's no big deal. Taking with the knight, he has a tricky move. He's going to play rook d8 and now your knight's in a bit of a pickle. So, okay, question is, what can we do? He's now got the threat of c5 on us. So, you guys type for me, what do you think Yuvini should do? Can she try and save that knight or counterattack Bobby's knight? What should she do? Daniel reckons c3. Mitch and Sam reckon c3. Lachlan's put in 3 moves. Thank you, Lachlan. Joe's gone rook e1. All right. I think you played c3 in the game. What would you still be happy with that, or would you want to do something else?
I might look at knight f3.
Yeah,
because it's counter-attacking.
Because c3 doesn't get out of the attack, does it? He can still play c5 when your knight's pinned and stuff. So you could play knight f3 as possible, but even better, why don't you play knight takes c6? You never thought of that one?
No.
Okay, it's a capture. So now, obviously, you're attacking his rook. So if he takes your knight, you've got queen takes rook check, would be cool. And if he takes your queen, you just take his queen. So you've got your pawn back, and he's not really threatening anything. So you got back to even. So knight takes c6 would have been the beauty. So this is another example where you perhaps said, oh, he's threatening my knight, what can I do? Oh, gosh, you know, I can't move it because it's pinned. I better protect it and at least get a pawn for it, maybe. So you're not sort of using your imagination to try and think, geez, I'm in strife, I've got to find a way out of this, and look at really weird moves like sacrificing your knight with knight takes c6. So that was a slight missed opportunity. All right, so he went and pinned you. Now, you could still do the same thing if you wanted. You could still do knight f3 or knight c6, but you counterattacked his knight, and then he went into g3, attacking the rook. So it's getting a little bit messy. You could play knight c6 again. Actually, knight c6 is a bit interesting, because now he takes you. You don't take his queen because he's got rook takes rook check, but you can take his rook because you've got the back rank threat. And if he drops the queen back, you can still play queen d8. So you'd probably be sort of almost getting out of trouble here. You're getting the queen back, not too much down on material. So knight c6 would be possible. You played rook e1. That looks like a pretty okay move as well. And he went back. All right, now, but we're still in strife, aren't we? Because our knight's pinned and we can't do that knight c6 thing anymore. So not only are we a pawn down, but we're going to probably drop our knight. So this, again, is one of those positions where you're in strife. If you just think of obvious stuff, you're not going to get out of it. So you need to put your thinking cap on, look at really weird moves. Can we find a way to get out of it and save our piece, or counterattack his piece, or something like that? So all you guys, start typing the question, what you reckon white should do. Has she got any way out of it? Lachlan's come up with an idea. Thomas has written win, which doesn't help. Haran's come up with an idea. Callum's gone knight e6. It probably doesn't help much after rook takes queen. Jason and Ryan are trying knight c6 again. But rook takes queen is going to kill that one off, and then the bishop can move and there's no back rank mates. Daniel Pobb's gone bishop g5. And Joe's seconded bishop g5. If I just take it, I'm not sure that's so terrible for me. Thomas has gone king f2. So have you come up with any ideas, Yuvini?
No.
No? All right. So the knight, let's have a look at it. So the knight can't move because he's going to play rook takes queen. So we haven't got any good spots for that knight. Would you say that's right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So what we've got to do is get rid of the pin. So can we move our queen anywhere that's attacking so that he can't take the knight? So are there any good spots we can put the queen?
A4.
Yeah, let's put it on a4. Now, what would happen if he takes the knight?
Queen e8.
Yeah, we jump in with back rank mate. But, now a lot of you have put queen a4, but what if he plays bishop d7? So he's still attacking our queen and he's still attacking our knight. Have we got a way out of that?
Rook e8. Rook e8 check.
We'll just take it. Bishop takes rook. Free rook.
No, bishop.
No?
Yeah.
You've looked at all checks though, so that's good. So he's attacking our queen, attacking our knight. If our queen moves, have we got anywhere good we can put it, or he'll just take the knight? Or if our knight moves? Any of you guys out there got any ideas? Oh yeah, hang on, here we go. Lachlan, Max, Haran, what about knight b5? So that's blocking the attack. The only trouble is he can play a6 and the knight's pinned. What could we do then, Yuvini? Are we stuck now, or we still got a chance? We can't move the knight because he'd take our queen. We can't check him because he'd just take it. So the only chance is to move our queen. Jason's seen the answer. Haran's seen the answer. Where could you put your queen? He's going to take your knight, so you need to counterattack something of his. F4. Look at F4.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't see the bishop,
Yeah.
so I thought he would just take it.
So now if he takes your knight, you take his knight. If he moves his knight, you can swap queens and move your knight. So that would probably get out of it without too much damage. So again, that's another example where you're in strife, you knuckle down, you think harder, you look at strange moves, you look a little bit deeper, and maybe you find your way out of it. But in actual fact, you came up with rook e3, which I don't quite understand. He dropped back, and you went there, and he took it. You took with the queen. Is it better to take with the queen or take with the bishop, do you think?
Bishop?
The bishop would have been better, because we don't want to swap queens because we're rook down. So you better take with the bishop, and then you can recapture on d4 with the bishop. So taking with the queen is a little bit of a boo-boo, because now he has a big swap off. And we're a rook down for nothing. We'll set him with a back rank mate, but he sees us. And pretty soon we run out of score sheet. And here we run out of score sheet. I'm presuming he sees the back rank mate and wins because he's a rook up. All right, so that was your game against Bobby.
Yeah.
So what can we learn from that game?
Look what he can do.
Yeah, there were lots of tactics there in the position, and you didn't look at them. You didn't see them. So you missed knight d3, you missed bishop takes f2 check, you didn't look at bishop takes h3, missed knight c6 or knight f3 to save your knight. So I think it's an example where you've got to think more and deeper and harder, particularly when you're in strife, and make certain you look at what he's going to reply. All right, now let's quickly have a look at the second game, which is a bit longer, which is against Sam. And this time you're black, but would you believe it's the same boring opening, only you're on the other side of it this time. He goes for d3, d6, pin, go away, back. You chase his bishop away and he decides to swap. That's okay. All right. People type in for me, what do you think black should play here? All fairly boring. And white's castled and made his king safe. And black hasn't castled yet. But type in what move you'd like to play for black. Sam's gone castles, Heath's gone bishop g4, Callum's castles, Max is g5, Nick's is h5. Okay, all over the shop. What do you like as black, Yuvini?
Castling.
Castling, okay. Actually, were it me, I think g5 is worth a good look, because that locks his bishop away. So let's just... you actually played bishop g4. But had you played bishop g5, pawn g5, sorry, he's got to play bishop g3. Now, remember the Carlson position we had at the start? How white had that bishop out of play? Well, this is exactly how Carlson got the other guy's bishop out of the play. He locked it in there, and it was sort of trapped for the rest of the game. So long as g5 is a fairly safe move and he's not going to sort of attack you on the king side, it's well worth looking to see if you can exploit his trapped bishop. So all those of you who said g5, well done. I think that's a good idea. You went bishop g4. Then he could go away. He played knight e2, which is a bit strange, because you can chop and double his pawns. Now again, you could look at playing g5 here. This would be even better. You like g5, bishop back, and now his bishop's totally locked in because you've doubled those f pawns. So that f3 pawn's not going anywhere. So you've got to say, how's poor old white going to get his bishop into the game? It's going to be pretty tough. But you decided to attack his pawn. All right. He chopped your knight. What should you play here?
queen.
He's taken your knight. Haven't you got to take him back?
I'm looking at queen takes h3, but I'm not sure.
All right. Well, tell me about queen h3. Would that be good or bad?
Well, I can't really see how am I gonna like attack him because he's got the pawns defending the squares. So
Yeah. All right. Well, queen h3 is actually quite good because his bishop's still trapped. His bishop's got nowhere to go. So you're still going to pick up his bishop. Probably going to cost you a pawn. But you pick up his bishop. But you have opened up his king now, and you've got your queen all aggressive down there attacking that f3 pawn and stuff. So that would probably be the best line. What you actually did is you just took him back. So I don't know how much you thought about it, but this might be another example where if you just play the routine move, you know, he takes you, you take him back, you miss an opportunity to do something that could be good. Okay, then he went up to h2 to protect his pawn. You played d5, which looks okay. All right, now, people have a think here. You reckon white's better, black's better, or it's pretty equal? So type in the question whether you want white, black, or equal. Heath's going white, Sam's even, Mitch is going black, Callum's even, Evan's white, Zoe's black. Bit of confusion here. Ryan's going white, Bobby's white, Thomas even, Rebecca black. Okay, Zoe's going black. All right, let's have a talk to Zoe if she's there. Hello, Zoe, are you there?
Hello.
Hi. You prefer black slightly, is that right?
Yeah, but I think I might just be changing my mind.
Ah, all right. So what's your current thought on it?
Well, now I think I'd rather be white because that G file looks really good.
The G5 or you mean F5?
The G file.
Oh, the G file. Okay, so you're going to put
Yep.
your rooks and queens and stuff on that and do terrible things. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Zoe. Okay, what do you think, Yuvini? Are you happy with how you're going, or you think he's going a bit better, or what?
I'm happy on how I'm going. Yeah, I'm trying to get the G file, but
All right,
yeah.
he's trying as well, so it's getting pretty tough. Where are we? Let me just have a look here. D5. All right. So what should white play, I wonder? You just played D5, trying to do something in the centre, maybe hoping he takes so you could undouble your pawns. What should white play? Type in your moves for white, guys. What would you do if you were white? And we'll see whether white's better or black's better. Callum's going rook g1. Max likes f4. Sam likes d4. Lachlan likes knight g3 or rook g1. Heath's the queen d2 man. Ryan and Bradley going rook g1. Zoe's likes f4. So again, we've got lots of moves to choose from. Okay, let's have a look here. Rook g1. Possible. I think were it me, I would play knight g3. And I would be quite happy for white. Why do you reckon I'd be happy for white, Yuvini?
Because you could be trying to get your knight to f5 maybe.
Yeah, so I've either got that lovely hole on f5 where I can put my knight and you can't get rid of me, or I could even play knight h5 and try and get a fork on f6 and maybe the knight can help me attack. So I reckon I've got my knight's going to be better than your bishop if I can get that to f5. So were it me, I would say white's better, and that's what white should be doing. The question is, does white realise that's what he should be doing, or is he doing something else? And he's gone for rook g1 check. You put your king out of the way, and he's gone e takes d5. Now again, he should play knight g3. So for instance, even if you take a pawn, he can rip up to h5, threatening that fork. And if the bishop drops back, you can hit the bishop. And now he's in a bit of a pickle, because you're attacking the bishop, and if bishop g5, you can just take it and then fork him. So that knight is looking like a pretty strong piece, but, whoops, hang on, go back one more move. But he actually took on d5. What should you take? What should you do here? Yuvini, have you got a couple of possible moves, or an obvious move, or what?
I could take the pawn with either the queen or the pawn.
Which one do you like best?
Probably the pawn, because it's like getting lots of center control.
Yeah, taking with the pawn undoubles the pawn, but taking the queen, you've got attack on that f3 pawn, and you're also attacking f2 at the moment. So taking the queen is pretty good as well. Yeah, it's hard to decide. This game, there's lots of choices that are hard to decide between. He brings his queen over there, so he's trying to get his queen onto the g file. Now, what do you think you should do here? He's going to play queen g2 and try and mate you.
Rook g8.
Okay. Does everyone agree with rook g8, or anyone have a different idea instead of rook g8? Heath and Lachlan both like rook g8. No, what else is coming up with a move in the question? Yep, Evan's come up. Yep, there is a better move, because you don't have to stop queen g2, because when he plays queen g2, you just play rook g8, and then his attack's dead. So what you should be playing is putting your pieces on good squares. So like queen f5, now you're attacking his f pawn and his d pawn, and your queen's looking really aggressive there. So that would have been slightly better. So don't be just scared and focusing on what he's trying to do. Also have a look at what prospects you have. Anyway, you went rook g8, he went d4, chop, chop, check, and he pushed the pawn up, which is a bit of worry, because now he's got the weak pawn. You played rook b8. Again, this is one of those positions where you've got lots of fairly good-looking moves. He went check, and you went back. Is that forced to go back? Is that the best move, or is there anything else you could do? It's sort of the obvious move to put the king out of the way in the corner. Is there any other move you could do?
Don't think so.
So you couldn't play pawn to f5. That's not a legal move?
Oh, yeah, it is.
All right. Could you play rook g6? Is that a legal move? So you've got three moves to choose from, not just the obvious one. So would any of those other two be better?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think rook g6 would be good, because then if he takes you, you can undouble your pawns, and if he doesn't, maybe you can double your rooks and stuff. So just playing the automatic move again, maybe you missed a little chance. Anyway, he went queen c1. Now you could go rook takes rook here. So again, we should look at all checks and captures. So if you go rook takes rook, so if he takes with the king, his h pawn's dead. If he takes with the queen, his b pawn's dead. If he takes with the knight, what could you do then? Have you got a good move that's helping you to attack? You've got your rook attacking, you've got your bishop attacking. His knight's just retreated. What can you do to pile on the pressure? What about queen into the attack? Attacking
The
that.
rook.
No, queen f5. Look at that. So your queen wasn't helping you. So you've got to coordinate your pieces and put them all on good squares. So now you're attacking his f pawn twice. He'd have to defend. You could come down there and hit his knight. So now he's sort of all under pressure. Your rook's got a good spot. Your bishop's a good spot. Your queen's a good spot. So you're like killing him. He's got no counterplay, and it's a disaster. So rook takes rook would have been good for you. So again, just quickly analysed all checks and captures. Instead, you hit his knight, which looks reasonable. He ran over there, and then you plan to double on him. So you doubled rooks. He brings the queen in. Now you put the queen in a good square like that. He defends the knight. And you came up with a clever move here, rook there, trying to get rid of that knight. So he played rook takes rook. Now, I wonder, you've got 3 ways you could take it back. You could take back with the f-pawn, the h-pawn, or the rook. So let's have a little poll to see what people think. Which one would you take back with? The f-pawn, the h-pawn, or the rook? So have a vote. At the moment, the rook's winning. The f-pawn's coming a close second, and no one's taking with the h-pawn. Only half have voted though. The rook's still winning. A couple have voted for the h-pawn. All right, we'll close the poll. Let's have a look. Come on, what's wrong with my mouse? Here we go. So rook takes g5 is the winner. All right, what do you think? Is rook takes g5 the best one? What do you think, Yuvini? What do you think, Yuvini? Is rook takes g5 the best one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I disagree. I think were it me, I would take with the pawn. Because I like undoubling my pawns, and now I've got a triple attack on that f-pawn and everything. So I think that would be my preference. But the others are still okay. Rook takes g5. I mean, you're sitting on him. Now he drops back. Now you've won the f-pawn. You can take it with the queen or the bishop. So we've got another hard decision coming up. So you guys, the game could be hinging on your decision here. Should you take with the queen? Should you take with the bishop? Let's have a poll. Bishop takes f4, queen takes f4. So at the moment, the bishop's in the lead. Queen's catching up a bit. Bishop's on 80%. Most people have voted. I'll give you 5 more seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's close. Let's have a look. Okay, bishop takes wins. What do you prefer, Yuvini? I think you took with the queen, didn't you?
I like taking.
Yeah, well, I think you should take with the bishop. Because your queen's an attacking queen, his queen's a defensive queen, and you've got him under pressure. So it could go like this. You're sort of threatening to move the pawn on. So sort of he's all tied up and you're all attacking. So keeping the queen on, keeping him under pressure, and he's got no counterplay, that would be the way to go. And hopefully it will break soon. But you took with the queen, so that enabled a swap off. Now we hit your rook, you went back, and he started moving his rook there. What should you do here? What would be your plan now? You're only a pawn up, and it's only a lousy double pawn. What move would you like to play here, Yuvini? What would be good, you think? What's the most important thing in endings, particularly rook endings?
Getting your rook active.
Yeah, active rook. So you should play rook b8. Try and activate your rook. So you're like hitting his pawn, then you hit his other pawn, has defended, you've got him all tied down to the defence. Then you bring your king in. So that's what you should be doing, but you went the other way around, you moved your king in, he goes rook up there, then you kept moving your king forwards, he unpins. Now, should you take that knight or maybe play h5? What do you think? To take the knight or not to take the knight? What do you like?
Take the knight.
Okay, take the knight. Wrong decision. You've got to say which is the better piece, his knight or your bishop. Now your bishop's defending that c pawn, keeping his rook out, and his knight's sort of pretty well all defensive. If you play h5, it can't really go anywhere much. So you've made a slightly wrong decision there. So the way you decide is say which is the better piece. So you've swapped off. So we're now in the rook ending, and the bad news is he's got the active rook. So you have to now defend your pawn. Now he starts bringing his king in. So you swap off a pawn, and he gets behind your pawn and starts attacking it. Now I don't know what happened here, but on the score sheet you went rook c1. Do you remember that? I don't know why your rook.
Yeah.
Why does your rook want to go to c1? It's not attacking him.
Well, I thought I could play bishop. Rook f1 check and try and get his pawns.
Yeah, I think you got the wrong plan. So you should be trying to swap off his pawns because all your pawns are weak and he's attacking yours. So you should play like maybe rook c2, attacking his pawn there, or you could play a5 to defend your pawn first. So rook c1 is just a total waste of time. He takes your pawn. So we're back to even pawns and his pawns are better. Then you went back to c8. So you must have changed your mind. And now here he comes. He's chasing you with his b pawn. Right, so people, we're in strife here. I'll give you our last poll for the night. What should you do? Should Yuvini play rook d8 behind her pawn? Should she play rook b8 to attack that b pawn? Should she go for the check, rook c3 check, or d4 to push her past pawn? So they're the four moves we'll have a look at. Rook d8, rook b8, rook c3 check, or d4. So start voting. Which ones you prefer? Oh, it's all over the shop here. I think d4 is slightly in the lead. Rook c3 check's coming second. And the others are getting some support as well. d4 is still in the lead. And the other three are pretty even. All right, let's close the poll, have a quick look. So d4 is the winner and the others are evenly spread. All right. So again, what should you be trying to do, Yuvini? What principle do you use to help you determine the correct move?
Look at the whole board.
Yeah, look at the whole board, but we were trying to get an active rook. So like rook b8, he just plays a3, and our rook's not active. Rook d8 is behind the pass pawn, but the pass pawn can be blocked with his king, and then we can't stop his stuff. So what we probably should do is rook c3 check down here. Maybe if he comes back to f2, we can go rook c2 check. We can put our rook behind his b pawn to hold up his pawns, and then see if we can get some counterplay. So that would have been the correct play. You went for d4, which is what most of the guys wanted, but then he comes across, you defend, he blocks, so now you've got no play. You're trying to bring your king in, but he's got b5 coming at you. And here your score sheet dies. You lose the game, and I presume he plays b6, and those two outside pass pawns sort of finish you off. So that was a very interesting game. So what can we learn from that game, do you think? What were the key points? There was g5 in the opening. Possible of playing g5 to trap his bishop like Carlson did.
Yeah.
Okay. You swapped off the queens when you would have been better to keep the queen on, keep him under pressure. And then in the rook ending, what did you do wrong? You swapped bishop for knight. That was a mistake.
I didn't.
In the rook ending, what did you do wrong?
And I didn't get my rook active.
Yeah, you didn't get your rook active as soon as possible. But that was an interesting, hard-fought, fluctuating game with a lot of moves that were hard to decide on because there were other good candidate moves. So it was very interesting. All right, so that's the end of today's lesson. Thank you very much, guys. I think I have Elijah here next week in the chess shop with me. So looking forward to that. So enjoy your chess on the weekend or playing online, hopefully later tonight. I might see you there. So I'll see you all next week, and thank you very much, Yuvini. Good night.
Thank you for having me.
All right, bye-bye.